Hello everyone, this is our topic logic thinking. These are the members of our group. Today we will talk about logic thinking. What is logic thinking? It means thinking in clear steps. It uses factors and evidence, not feelings. It helps us avoid quick or emotional decisions. We also organize ideas in a clear order. Why is it important? It makes our explanation easy to understand. It helps us solve problems better in school, at work, and in life. So, logical thinking is a useful skill for everyone. Let's learn more about it. Logic starts in ancient Greece. The philosopher Aristotle created a simple logic form. For example, all people will die. Socrates is a person, so Socrates will die. Now, logic is used in many areas: math, for proofs; computer science, for programming; for psychology, to understand how we think. So logic is very important today. It helps us to think clear, study, and make good decisions at work.
On this slide, I'm talking about the meaning of logic. Logic is a systematic way of thinking. We use it to check information and to get calculations that make sense. When we think logically, we go step by step from the starting ideas to the final point, instead of jumping around. We also try to use facts and evidence, not just our feeling or guesses. Logic helps us tell the difference between facts, opinions, and claims with no support. It also helps us avoid mistakes that come from bias or unclear thinking. This slide is about the characters of logical thinking. One important point is that logical thinking is based on evidence. We look for real information to support our ideas, instead of just saying "I think so." Logical thinking also has a clear structure. Our ideas follow clear steps that connect with each other, so another people can follow our thinking. Other point is that it tries to avoid fallacies, which are common thinking mistakes. For example, a hasty generation is when we see only a few cases and then quickly judge or situation from them. These things matter because they help our thinking stay clear and steady. They also help us make stronger arguments and make our speaking or writing look more professional. Now, this slide is about the fundamental principle of logic. One key idea is the principle of identity. This means that the connect should keep the same meaning during an argument. If we change the meaning of the word halfway, the whole argument becomes unclear. Another idea is the principle of non-contradiction. A statement cannot be true and false at the same time in the same situation. For example, we cannot say this answer is correct and this answer is not correct at the same time. We also have the principle of excluding media. In logic, a statement is either true or false. There is not middle truth. This principle helps us keep our thinking clear and accurate. They stop us from making confusing arguments and make our reasoning easier to follow.
Hello everyone. Today we diving into three core types of logical thinking: deductive, inductive, and abductive. Each with its own method and real-world power. Let's start. First up, deductive reasoning. Think of it as a top-down approach. It starts with a general principle, a major premise, as a specific detail minor premise, and leads to a certain conclusion. For example, a major premise All humans are mortal. Mirror premise. Socrates is human. Conclusion: Socrates is mortal. This is huge in minds, computer, and law. But here is the catch. If you initial premise is wrong, say all dogs have tails, and you apply it to man X cat, which has no tail. Your conclusion falls apart. Deductive reasoning is only as strong as its starting assumptions. Next, inductive reasoning. The bottom-up canon it uses specific observations to make probable generalizations. Let's take a classic example. A scientist sees 1,000 white swans, so they conclude all swans are white. That's reasonable until someone finds a black swan. Inductive reasoning is the backbone of the scientific method and business forecasting, but it has a flaw: the problem of induction. One counterexample can destroy a whole generalization. Even so, it's how we support patterns and make predictions in daily life. Finally, objective reasoning or inference to the best explanation. It starts with an observation, then picks the simplest, most likely cause emerge. You get home, your doors open, and there's are multiple footprints. Possible explanations. A family member forgot to close it. Strong wind. If nothing's missing and it was windy that day, you will probably blame the wind. This is critical in fields with incomplete info, like medical diagnosis or tech troubleshooting, but it's not perfect. The best explanation might not be correct, and the basis can skew our choices. So why does this matter? These three types are tools. Deductive gives certainty. Inductive finds patterns. Objective solves mysterious. Together they help us approach problems more structurally. Whether we are coding and testing scientific series, or just figuring out why our doors is open. Thanks for listening.
The process of logical thinking. Applying logical thinking to solve problems or analyze arguments typically follows a systematic, multi-stage process. This structured approach ensures thoroughness, reduces the influence of bias, and increases the likelihood of researching a sound conclusion. The process can be broken down into 5 key stages. Firstly, identify the problem is clearly. Understanding the real issue. We should ask a basic question like what is the main issue and what is the goal. This helps us avoid guessing or focus on the wrong things. Secondly, collect evidence means finding useful and reliable information. We should look at data, response, customer feedback, and market trends. The better the evidence, the better the conclusion. Finally, analyze argument means checking if the information makes sense. We look for mistake, bias, or missing facts. We must decide whether the problem comes from inside the company or from outside the factory. These 3 steps help us thinking clearly and make better decisions.
Forming conclusion, testing validity. Logical thinking means using clear steps and evidence to understand a problem and make a good decision. When forming conclusion, we look at all the information and decide what is most likely true. Sometimes the conclusion is central, and sometimes it's only the best explanation we can make. After that, we must test if our conclusion is incorrect. We checked whether it's much no fast and ask question, like it's consistent or did this really make sense? For example, if the complaint says a 15% drop this sale, they may conclude it is because a competitor relates a better product. To test this, they could run a small marketing package and see if sales change. Testing helps us avoid mistakes and improve our thinking. Importance and roles of logic thinking. Logic thinking is important because it helps us solve different kinds of problems. Personal, social, academic, or work retail, in the climb, organizes and feel well. When we think logically, we avoid making decisions based on the feeling, straight or quick guesses. Instead, we look at facts and information step by step. It not only preserves us from choosing a weak or inefficient solution, but also steps small problems from the beginning bigger. Logic thinking also helps us discover the real problem, not just the part we can immediately see. Sometimes what looks like the problem is the only statement, but thinking is clearly. We can study information, compare detail, and understand the causes and effect behind each situation. This process helps us notice patterns, understand why things happened, and predict what may happen next. With this clear understanding, we can compare different choices most confidently and choose the option that brings the best result. For example, when the project managers face divider and deadline, logic thinking allows them to calmly check all possible results, such as supplier issues, wrong scheduling, or the not enough workers. Instead of react emotionally, they collect data, analyze the root causes, and play clear, practical action. It helps them solve the real problem, avoid repeating mistakes, and make stronger decisions from the team and the project. Application in academic align case. The value of logic thinking can also be seen in schoolwork. A line from 5th student saw his math mark drop from 75% to 48%. Instead of parking, he used logic thinking. First, he found the exact problem, various align approach and ability. Then they can collect more information and learn why they made mistake. He skipped Excel classes and only memorized following without fully understanding them. After finding the root cause, he chose solutions such as creating a reviews plan, using learning apps like Quizy or YouTube, joined study group, and attending Excel classes. Last, his score increased to 68%, showing that a clear and structured thinking process can lead to real improvement. Aligned experience shows that logic thinking helps us solve problems step by step and reach better results.
This is part 6. Logical thinking brings several important advantages to our make discussion and survey problems. The first one is help make remotion and rediscussions instead of letting emotions and circle through the changes. Logical thinking enjoy to look for the force and facts, so we can discussion because we can more and balance and that case doesn't. The second one, the records and the circles, we have thinking and the system way, and we can spot and easily to make things in the priorities and solving my problems in daily routines. The last one, logical thinking, disparate circle and thinking. This help we choose advanced family questions and questions and into the worst ideas. The single discussions are choose more reasonable and well disparate. Family logical thinking help we choose study that weekends. We can make better discussions and understand. We can choose a more smart and so clear. So what is challenges of the circle thinking? Even the logical thinking is important and also comes with few challenges. The first one, the our emotions and business can choose a way. Sometimes we think very logical but feel like fear and confidence make our judgment like the countries. Of the countries. The second one, the not will probable not be always logical alone. For example, and more future business skills and needed to employment, and help understand not just clear reasons. Last, family. Logical depend on the good information. In feel that we can have implement feelable, and even the logical conclusions can still the model will. So while this logical thinking is useful, we need to choose where and change challenges, be balanced cycle with information, futures and good information, so we can solve the challenges in logical thinking. So we and logical is very important and have the real changes.
Logical thinking is a skill we build to practice, not something we are born with. It involves examining problem calmly, understanding cause and effect, and making fact-based decisions. To develop it, we must observe carefully, question information, and form conclusion step by step. Studying how arguments work, identifying main ideas, evidence, and expressions help us judge strong and weak reasoning. Logic, puzzle, and a game like Sudoku or chess also train us to see pattern and thinking systematically. Overall, logical thinking improves when we use clear methods and reflect on how we reach our conclusions. There are 4 useful ways to improve logical thinking. First, we can analyze arguments by finding the main point, the reasons, and any weak parts. This helps us understand good reasoning and avoid unclear thinking. Second, logic puzzle and strategy games train us to follow rules, think step by step, and compare choices. Third, reading philosophy and mathematics builds strong thinking skill. Philosophy helps us organize ideas clearly, and mathematics teacher prize careful thinking. Fourth, we can ask critical questions like why, what is the evidence, and could there be another reason? This keeps us from expecting information too quickly. By using this method often, our logical thinking becomes clearly and stronger in daily life.
Logical thinking helps us make clear decisions, solve problems, and judge the information correctly. How we can do it? We follow clear steps.